What is up? Welcome back to the channel. Man, it's been a while. I'm based on the title of the video, I'm sure you know, but we're going to look at the next set of John Cena's I got for my John Cena collection. Now, this video has been kind of a long time in the making, obviously, because I haven't done this for about 2 months. So it was like March time-ish that I did my last update. And when I did that video, I had John Cena's on their way to me coming in the mail. I had my brother pick me up a couple that he had in his possession at the time of that video. So we kind of got a backlog of John Cena's here. I'm going to show you 10 today, mainly because those ones I have open, I have ready and prepped. I have, I think, 3 more in my possession already that I figured I would just save kind of for the next video for whenever we get more or what have you. And we'll just kind of go from there. Like I said, there is 10 of them, so I'm going to try to crank through them a little bit quicker maybe than normal, or maybe than I did in the other parts. But I'll still try to give you the details on what the figure is, how I got it. Maybe if I remember what I paid for it, I'll try to throw that in there. But other than that, let's start cranking these out. I know it's been a while since I've done video, at least a video by myself. I did the one with my son, but that was still, I don't know, a week or 2 ago at this point. So it's been quite a while since I've made any videos. It's just been hectic in life and a lot going on. So I'm going to try to pump out a few since I have a little bit of time today. So maybe the next couple of days you'll have a little bit more to watch, from me at least. But anyways, let's get off of that. We're going to start with some John Cena's here. So this first one is a basic technically. This is John Cena, just a basic. They called this basic matchup, and essentially what this was you'd get a basic figure, and then you would also get some gear to kind of dress like the figure. So this is his like bicep band or arm band that he wears, you know, with the C Nation there, and then it has the dog tags also, but that came with the figure. Obviously the biggest thing we care about is the figure. This figure, I'm sure, I may even already have a figure that's exactly the same as this, to be honest. If not, I'm sure we'll get another one that is basically the same exact figure. Like I said, this is just a basic. He's got, you know, basic shoes on with the black and gray, and he's got the orange wristbands and the C Nation orange bicep band there. I'm sure they redid this figure numerous times. This came out in 2010, so a very, very early basic here. I can't imagine that we won't see this exact figure again, but I picked this up at a convention, the Squared Circle Expo. For those who know what I'm talking about, I picked this up at Squared Circle Expo. I don't know, maybe it might have been 25 bucks. I don't know. I probably overpaid a little bit because it didn't have a price tag on it. And the guy at the booth, there was like a guy helping the actual booth owner or whatever, and he kind of just was like, hey, how much is this? And the booth owner didn't really know off the top of his head and just kind of gave a number. At that point, since I was all the way into it and I needed this John Cena still for the collection, it was just kind of is what it is. But yes, that is that John Cena. So that is the basic there. Let's get into something a little bit more modern here. We have the Ultimate Series 22 John Cena. Now, we've talked about before, Ultimates are like kind of like the top of the line when it comes to accessories, when it comes to posability, maneuverability, all that jazz, if you will. But this is John Cena in his more modern look. This is before this year. So this is when he would like make appearances and stuff before his kind of retirement year. But so you can see he's got like the longer hair, whereas back when in his younger days he had more of the like buzz cut slash short style hair. But yeah, so that is the hat there. Just to go back, this I did get mint on card, so it was brand new and I opened it from that convention. This one I also bought brand new. I can't remember where I got this exactly. I want to say I found it on Whatnot for basically right what an Ultimate costs, like that $32.99-ish point. I've been looking for this for a while because I knew it was relatively new, so I was hoping I could get it for like a retail type price. But I hadn't really been able to find it. It was a little, I don't want to say rare, but rarer, if you will, now. Ultimate Series 22 came out probably a year ago at least now, but I did find it pop up on Whatnot, brand new, like I said, mint on card. I opened it, and so I snatched it up. I don't know if this figure specifically was made in Vietnam. Mattel did change their factory prior to the whole Tarif situation, but they changed their factory to Vietnam. And I don't know if this one it was made in Vietnam or not, but this soft goods shirt was absolutely terrible. It comes off the like not on the figure in the packaging, so it's like in the packaging he's shirtless, and then when you open it, if you want the shirt on, you have to put it on. It was probably the hardest shirt I've ever had to put on an action figure, just throwing that out there. It was awful, but he does come with the hat that you can see. He comes with the towel that he holds when he like comes down to the ring. He comes with the towel in his back pocket as well. So there's that there. He comes with I think these wristbands are probably removable. If you take his hands off, they'll slide off. I'm not sure, to be honest. And then he has the bicep band up there. He does come with other hands and heads and stuff like that, but those have already made it into my accessory bin because this is how I'm going to display them. But yes, there is the Ultimate Series 22 John Cena. Knock off the list. And the towel in his back pocket does not stay very well as it just fell out again. So that, in knowing me, will probably get lost. But all right, we're pretty basic heavy in this 10 that I picked out. So we're going to keep cranking on some basics. I want to show you another kind of cool one, another really early one. This is the Basic Series 1 John Cena. So very, very early in the line. I don't even know. I would assume Basics came out before Elites or at the same time as Elites, but essentially this would be one of the first things that you would find on the shelf when it came to Mattel figures. So when Mattel got the license, this was one of the first lines that they pumped out. This is the Basic Series. And in that Basic Series 1, they did these belt chases. So you can see there, this one says, what does it say, 520? Yeah, 520 of 1,000. Sorry, it's hard to read backwards, but yeah, John Cena 520 of 1,000. So they made 1,000 of these like special gold belts to go with each of the 6 figures in the line. So basically all 6 basic figures in Series 1, you could find these chase belts with. So this is the John Cena one. Again, I bought this mint on card and opened it, so I do know that this is the specific belt and figure that came in the packaging, blah, blah, blah. So that is the Chase 1 of 1,000. I bought it on eBay. I don't remember how much I paid. These ones also did come with their own stands back in the day. I just wanted to point that out. I know I pointed that out before, but he did come with his own stand. But this is the Series 1 Chase belt. I did put the regular Series 1. They did this throughout the line for a while with different things where they're like, there would be a Chase one that came with a chair or came with this or that or came with a Slammy Award, came with these belts, whatever it may be. I did put all of the Chase one and the regular one on the list. I'm not super like pumping out to try to get this. I mean, it's the same figure. It's just the only difference is the belt. Like I said, I put them both on the list, but it's not something that I'm like actively hunting for, if that makes sense. Once we get down to the nitty gritty, if that ever happens, then maybe we'll pull the trigger on some of those guys. But since we already have the figure, it's not super necessary to look for it again. But that is the Series 1 John Cena Chase. He's got the blue on. This is another one that I'm sure we'll see again when it repacked with, in a different series or a different set or whatever. But that is the Series 1 Basic and with the Chase belt. So there is that bad boy. Early Mattels are there with the 2, especially with the first one I showed in this video. But all right, back to something a little bit more modern. And this was a super cool thing that Mattel did. I loved this figure when they first showed it, and they're making it even better with a new one. But here is your Chase John Cena. This is the Main Event Series 148. So a pretty modern figure. This came out in 2024, so barely a year old, if that. But this is the You Can't See Me. This is the chase. So there is a regular in Series 148. That is also on the list because it is drastically different. That's just a regular John Cena figure. Not clear and all that stuff. But yeah, this is the You Can't See Me. So obviously that's a big saying of John Cena's. And everybody makes the memes and the jokes about, you know, how he's invisible and all that jazz. But so this is the main event, 148 chase when he's invisible. This one is one of the ones that my brother did pick up for me. He found it at a store local to us. I don't even know what kind of store it was, like a video game store or something maybe. I don't even know. But they had this guy there. This one was 25 bucks. If you check eBay, that's right about what the chase goes for. So it is just a basic figure. So a little more pricey, or a little pricier for a modern basic figure, but it is a chase, and it is such a cool, like, iconic type of figure with the invisibleness to it that a lot of guys that don't even collect elites or don't collect John Cena, what have you, they wanted and picked this up just because it's so unique, with the fact that it's invisible. So it is a figure that I foresee going up in value. I did open that one from Mint on Card, like I said. So it is a figure I do see continuing to go up in value over the years just because of the oddness to it. But like I said, it is just a basic. So when I say continue to go up, it may peak at 50 bucks or 75 bucks. Nothing crazy, but as it gets older and older and less places have it and whatnot, I think it'll be a little bit more on the rare side, if you will. So cool figure though. I really like that clearness to it. So let's get back into an Elite. This is another kind of historic one here. This is the Elite Series 100 John Cena. So we went from, well, basic Series 1, but early on in the Mattel line, to now Elite Series 100. 100 series of Elites. That's pretty historic. There's not too many action figure lines out there that have 100 series. I can't think of another one off the top of my head. I'm sure there is another one, but there's not a lot if there is another one. And to think Mattel has two, essentially, you know, basic series is up to 148, as we just saw. It's over that now. And Elites are over 100 now. They're into like 122 or something now, I think, is what the most recent Elite line that you can get is, or whatever. But it's in the 120s. I don't know exactly, but yeah. But this is Series 100, so a very, very historic set. I do have Series 100 in the basic John Cena as well. He was in both basic Series 100 and Elite Series 100. I showed the basic Series 100 one earlier on. That might have been my very first John Cena video that one was in, because I already had that before this challenge even started. But anyways, so this is the Elite Series 100. He came with the spinner belt there. He comes with the chain, like the spinner chain that he had. He has the hat and the black kind of deal there that he wore. I bought this one Mint on Card also, and I got this one in a claim sale in a Facebook group that I'm in. So essentially a claim sale, what they usually do, in this one at least, claim sales can be different. I mean, they can be whatever you want, but in this one, what they normally do is they'll do like for this one specifically, it was a $17 bid or a $25 claim. So essentially, when I saw it, and I could have commented right away and said $25 claim, and it was mine, $25, that's it. Or I can bid the $17, and somebody can either outbid me, or somebody could come in and just boom, claim it, and be done. So I just put the $17 bid in just to see what would happen, because I wasn't really anticipating buying that at the time, and nobody else bid on it or claimed it or anything. So I got it for the 17 bucks. So 17 plus shipping, whatever that may be. It came out to like the 25 bucks or something with shipping, but so not a bad deal there. It's definitely a little more expensive than that if you look on eBay. So I feel like I got a pretty good deal at the $17. You know, and it's a cool, fun, historic figure to have. But that is Elite Series 100 John Cena. Crossed off the list, so excited to have that guy there. We still got quite a few basics to get through here. Let's get to the next kind of basic one here. This is Basic Series 74. So, not super modern, but a little bit more modern than those other basics we saw there. And I guess not quite as modern as the 148 one, but yeah, this is Basic Series 74. This is when basics were kind of at their worst. Like, Mattel's messed with and kind of played with the difference in basics a few different times where they've changed, how the articulation and stuff that they have. So this was probably when basics were kind of at their worst in this era, but still a cool looking John Cena. He's got the face there. He's got some bushy eyebrows in this one, it looks like. Man, you got to get those checked out. But this is when he's in his blue and orange gear. So he's got the blue and orange, and then the blue C Nation band there. This is another one that my brother had picked up. I believe it was $10 for this one, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but he got this at a store in Cincinnati. He went to a toy store down there and picked this bad boy up for me. This was mint on card as well. So that would be Basic Series 74. And yeah, that's not much more to say about that one. If you haven't noticed, I try to get as many as I can mint on card, especially for some of these basic ones, because you can't really tell what they are if you don't get a mint on card. Some of them, obviously, you can. Like this one, you wouldn't have known, like, if it was the Chase or anything like that. Not that the figure is any different, but I'm sure there's been other versions of that John Cena that are virtually identical to that, so you wouldn't really know if it was Series 1, things like that. So that's why I try to get a mint on card if possible. Now, something like this, this is the Toys R Us exclusive basic. This is the Make-A-Wish version. So they made this because John Cena is such a big part in Make-A-Wish. Now, this one specifically, you could tell that if this was the Make-A-Wish. They've never done another John Cena that looks like this. He's never worn red jeans, as far as I know. What the heck does this say? Alex Nation? I don't know what that is, I guess. I'd have to look more into this. But right there on the back of his pants, it says Alex Nation. There's kind of like the bird flying across the back of him. But this one, you'd be able to tell, obviously. So, like, if worst came to worst, this one I could have bought loose. I did buy this one mint on card. And I have an interesting story about this one to tell. I bought this on eBay. It was a bid. And I bid whatever the starting bid was, and nobody else bid on it. So it was like $19.99, I think, that I had bid on this, and nobody outbid me. So I won it for the $19.99. And like a day or two later, I get a message from the seller that says, "Hey, I can't find the figure. I'm going to cancel your order." Whatever, shit happens, I guess, So it kind of sucks, and it's annoying, but whatever. So he said he was going to cancel my order. And then he said that if he found it, he would reach out and let me know. So, like, it was probably, I don't even know if it was a day later. It was, like, later that day. He messages me back, and he says, "Hey, I found the figure. I'm going to hook, we're going to sell it, blah, blah, blah." He said, "When I post it, you have to be ready, though, because I'm going to post it for $19.99, the same price you paid, but I'm going to post it for buy it now. So if somebody swooped in, they'd kind of undercut you." He said, "But I want you to be able to get it, so I'm kind of giving you the heads up." So he messaged me then, like 7:30 one night or something. Was like, "I'm about to put it up." So I'm on my phone, like waiting for it to update and everything. And as soon as it updated, I swooped in and got it. So I did pay the $19.99 again for it, and I got it from the original, or the same guy that I bought it from originally. But yes, kind of a weird little story on that one, of like the rigmarole there. But this is one too that has a weird, when it comes to value, it's kind of weird, because like when you look at it, it's usually in like the upper 20s, 30s, 40s when it comes to prices. And then there's some that are just astronomical, where people are just like hoping for way too much. But then there's this one that was up for bid, and the starting bid was $19.99, and like nobody bid on it. So like, it's obviously one that has a niche, however you say that, market, where like somebody who may be collecting every single basic, or maybe collecting every John Cena like me, would need it. But outside of that, you don't really need it. So like, does it hold any value or not? And I don't know. That's where it's tough, because like, I would say the value is probably right around that $20 mark. You know what I mean? Like when it came out, it was $11.99 or maybe $15.99, since it was a Toys R Us exclusive. So like, it's gone up a little bit because it's aged, but it's hard to say what it's really valued at because, again, it's not something too many people are dying to get. And I don't know. It's a weird one when it comes to value. When you look this up, the values are just, or the asking prices, I should say, are all over the place. And I just don't know if some of those asking prices are super sane, if you ask me. But that's the John Cena. It says that "you can't see me" in the words there, and the shirt, obviously kind of looks like an American flag. But yes, this is a Toys R Us exclusive that was made for a Make-A-Wish Foundation. It might have been it might have been the kid's actual wish. I don't know. I don't know what this Alex Nation thing means on his back. So I would assume either some kid named Alex or his name may be Alex Nation even. I don't know. But I don't know if his wish was to have a special John Cena made for him or what that story is, but maybe I should look that up and see if I can find anything. But anyways, that is the Toys R Us exclusive Make-A-Wish John Cena. We've got 3 left, so we're a little bit long here, but we're trying to get them cranked out. The last Elite that I have for this video is the Defining Moments Series 6 John Cena. This is back when he was in his Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick. I really like this figure. This is a pretty early Elite, so it's still pretty basic from an Elite standpoint. Like, they have the pins in the joint still compared to some of the more modern ones where they don't have the pins and things like that. And the articulation is a little bit stiff compared to some of the more modern ones where you can't do quite as much. But I really do like this figure. I think it looks good. This is another one where the shirt, I don't believe the shirt was on him when it came, or I took it off for some reason. I can't remember. But it has these pegs in the side, and man, those are just annoying to get to stay with this like kind of rubbery material that this is made out of. But then it comes with the word "Life Nux." Cool there. It's got the chain necklace. And then this one's a cool one because this may be the only time that we've gotten a visor in the Mattel line of figures. I'm not sure 100% on that, but I can't think of another time where they would have made a visor with any other figure. So pretty cool in that regard. The Defining Moments were supposed to be essentially what Ultimates are now. They didn't have any more articulation or anything like that, but they like came with the most accessories. They came with a story behind them, all that kind of stuff to make them really feel special. And that's where the Defining Moments usually are pretty top of the line figures, in my opinion. There was only a few stinkers. And I think this one did really well. I don't think this one disappointed at all. I really like the visor that they made. Like I said, I don't know of another figure that's come with a visor. So essentially they made that part just for this one figure, if I'm correct. And like, that's when they do things like that, that's really cool because it makes, at least me, it makes me feel like I got a little more value out of the figure. Because like they've never used it. I don't know. It just makes me feel like I got a little more value because like literally everything else on this figure has been used again for another figure in some capacity, be it another John Cena or another guy altogether. But I can't think of another figure that came with a visor like that. So really cool, really cool. Let's stop talking about visors. So we're down to 2 more. We got 2 basics left here. We're going to talk about, this is Basic Series 48 John Cena. Just another plain Jane basic. Nothing really special to say about this one. The reason I picked this one up, I bought this on eBay. I think it was 15 bucks or something. I don't know. Nothing too crazy. But I picked this one up because what was this one? This one, I believe, was my nephew's. I just asked him to pick a random number between 1 and, I think it's 211 or 221, whatever the John Cena is. And one of my nephews picked this one. The other nephew picked another number, which I haven't gotten that figure yet because I haven't found one that I liked and wanted to purchase. But this is the one that my one nephew picked. So I purchased this one basically right after he picked the number. I purchased it. And this is Basic Series 48. So, like I said, nothing super special here, to be honest. He's got the green wristbands and armband on, but yeah, pretty plain Jane. This is another one I'm pretty sure gets re-released, looking almost identical to this. So there's that bad boy. And then the last one, this one has kind of a story, I guess, to it, but this is the Camo Jorts John Cena. And this one, they call it the 7218. You can see it right there. This is a weird series. There wasn't really a lot known with this or why this was a thing for a while. And then I think one of the guys from Mattel kind of answered it, but this like 7218 assortment, that's the assortment number like on the back. Like if you look at the back of a figure and there's the barcode right above it, it'll say like assortment or ASST assortment, and then like a number next to it. Usually that's just like garbage for them that they to know that, but this assortment 7218 was a specific special line or special series that they made for like smaller stores or more specialty type stores, if you will, not your Walmarts and your Targets and things like that. So you're talking more like Kohl's or, you know, stores that have toys, but not like a full toy section. Kohl's is one I can think of because I saw a bunch of Kohl's stickers on the packaging for this figure when I was looking for it. But other stores like that, a lot of stores in the UK that, again, don't have full toy stores, I know had a lot of these. Just things, weirder stores that you wouldn't always expect to have toys in, but they have like a small toy section for like when the kid is shopping with mom or whatever. But anyways, so the assortment 7218 was more of the big names. So like your lesser name guys weren't part of this assortment because it was just at those smaller stores. So like Kohl's didn't want, you know, a bunch of no-name Johnnies on the shelf because they're not going to move units. But like John Cena and Randy Orton, they're going to move more units because they're more recognizable to kids, maybe not even wrestling fan kids, but kids that are just stuck at a Kohl's with their mom, sees a John Cena and they know who that is. So like, bam, now Kohl's has a sale kind of thing. So this is the, you know, he's got the black bands and stuff, and he's got the camo jorts. There's a couple of these 7218 assortment John Cenas. I want to say there's like maybe 3 or 4 different ones, and they all have like different shorts or different colored armbands on. And then most of all of those figures, most of the 7218s are also in the main basic line in some capacity. Like they might be in basic series 50 or whatever, or they're in the signature series or a different basic line that they did. That way Mattel could get the most bang out of their buck. These I think are going to be the bane of my existence just based on looking at this, looking this one up and kind of learning about it. They're going to be annoying because not everybody puts great pictures on eBay. So I got this one on eBay and this guy had good pictures where I could see the barcode. I could see it was a 7218. I opened it myself. So I know for sure this one was the 7218 assortment one. But not everybody puts great pictures, especially with basics that are so old. People just pop a picture up of the front of the figure and that's it. And like, so it's harder to tell what it is exactly and to know what I'm getting for my collection. So I think those ones are going to be tough. But man, that was 10 figures we went through. I don't want it to be this many in the next video or as we continue to go forward. Like I said, I believe I have 3... 1, 2, yeah, I see 3 of them right now that I have that I can open and get prepped for the next video. And then I believe I have 3 more coming in the mail that I got in like a 3-pack deal. That was a really good deal, I thought. So once we get those 3 in, I'll have 6. And I think that's a pretty decent number to go with. But other than that, I think I'm going to head out of here because this one's getting long. But we are well on our way. We're well behind when it comes to this John Cena collection from, you know, if you're talking about wanting to be halfway around the halfway point of the year, you're talking we should be in the hundreds by now, and we're not. We're in like the 30s. So it's a slow process. We're definitely not going to finish by the end of the year unless I hit the lottery or something and just buy them all at once. So I don't foresee us finishing by the end of the year, but I am going to keep going until this is done. I do have some other things cooking, so this may move to the back burner once it's past the year, but it'll always be something we're working on. So until the next one, I'm Dylan. Catch y'all later.